Well, so good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out on another amazing sunny day here in the city of San Francisco. I want to thank you for being here on this critically important topic. You know, last year was a very challenging year for our residents here in San Francisco and for our visitors and everyone else who parked their cars on the streets of San Francisco. Nearly 31,000 cars were broken into in 2017 in our city, which is a crazy number. A total represented an over 25% increase from the year before. And let me say, I'm going to be the first to tell everybody and to make sure the residents of San Francisco know that we believe that is completely unacceptable. The status quo on our streets is not acceptable, and we have to do things better. Our city cannot continue to thrive if people are afraid to leave their car unattended when they're here to live, when they're here to work, when they're here to shop, or visit any of our amazing attractions here in San Francisco. As I've said many times before, parking your car in San Francisco should not be a game of roulette. And I will say that since becoming mayor and previously as a member of the Board of Supervisors, I was one of the first people to point out the problem and to acknowledge the problem, though, and I think this is critically important. And also to acknowledge the work that our police department has done in response to this epidemic that we are seeing and we have seen on our streets beginning really in earnest last year. And the first to commend our police department for the efforts that they have done. You know, Chief Scott did not point fingers or blame others or make excuses. Our police department went to work. Last year at the end, they doubled our foot patrols here in San Francisco, created a unit specifically to deal with property crimes in San Francisco. And we dedicated more resources at our district stations to report and investigate these crimes. And today, as you've seen in the papers, we're proud to announce that there are results from some of these efforts. For the first 3 months of 2018, we have seen a over 17% decrease in our auto break-ins. We are seeing real progress. But again, the status quo is not okay on our streets, and as a city, we are not going to rest on our laurels. We have a ton of work left to do. We will continue effective, targeted campaigns to address this challenge. So today we're doing a few things. First of all, we are rolling out officially across the entire city of San Francisco our Park Smart campaign, which you see on the bus behind us. It will provide more informational resources to our residents and to our visitors. We are canvassing our car burglary hotspots and posting public messages throughout the city of San Francisco that if you love it, don't leave it. And I want to thank in particular Kelly Nice and his entire team for their work on this advertising campaign. We do not want to give thieves the opportunity to take possessions in our cars. And I want to say this is a very coordinated effort between our police department, numerous city agencies, our community partners, and officials from the tourism industry. This initiative is a key part of our effort to make sure crimes don't occur in the first place. And I'm going to quote Chief Scott in saying, "A crime prevented is much better than a crime solved." We are complementing these efforts as well with greater resources for investigative teams. Today, we're also announcing new efforts to expand fingerprinting training at our different police stations throughout the city of San Francisco. Some 36 members of the captain's staff from all 10 police stations will have fingerprint training. They will be joining our officers on the force who already have these skills. And by expanding these services and this training, we're going to expand our fingerprint database, providing new resources to crack down on car break-in offenders, and particularly those that are serial offenders. And we've seen some of them being caught in our papers over the last few weeks. We know these measures, however, together are not simply going to solve the car break-in epidemic here in San Francisco, but they are important next steps and important for the residents of our city, to visitors of this city, to make sure they know and everybody knows we are moving forward and we recognize the issue and we are going to continue to do more. This approach is also going to include additional staffing in our police department. Earlier this year, I asked Chief Scott to conduct an internal staffing analysis within the police department so we can determine the resources that we need within our police department to make sure we tackle this epidemic. Let me say this very loud and clear. We have some of the best police officers in the country. The men and women that serve us in the city of San Francisco, we should be incredibly proud of, and we need to give them our respect every single day. They put their lives on the line to protect us here in San Francisco. But we need more of them. And I am committed to funding additional increases in our police department as we roll through our upcoming budget season here in San Francisco. I am also urging our criminal justice partners, our judicial branch, our public defender and district attorney, to work together on our proposal to have one judge specifically dedicated to auto break-ins. We need to make sure that there are consequences to the actions that are happening on our streets. Like the other major issues facing our city, we are not going to solve this alone or with one single solution. By exploring a wide range of options and by collaborating together, we are going to make, and let me say this, we're going to continue to make significant progress in this area. I want to close by thanking a number of different people and groups who have been involved. First of all, Chief Scott, to you in particular, to the entire police department, many of which are behind me today, to our 311 department, to the Office of Economic and Workforce Development, to our Department of Emergency Management, to our Office of Short-Term Rentals, SF Travel, and the partnership with our tourism industry, our community partners today, like Troy from our Fisherman's Wharf Community Benefits District. I mentioned Kelly Nice, but I'm going to mention him again from Nice Advertising. Thank you for their incredible help. And everyone else in the entire city family and every single resident that is demanding that we make San Francisco, and we are working to make San Francisco a much safer place for everyone. So thank you all for being here today. And with that, I would like to introduce the Chief of our police department, Chief Bill Scott.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you to Mayor Farrell for the leadership that he's providing on this issue. As he stated, collaboration is the key. It takes all of us working together to fight crime. To my left, I have some of San Francisco's finest, our police officers from Central Station. We have our community, Troy, and members of our community. We have our parking department here. It's a collaborative effort. No one entity can take on this issue alone. And we are so proud that we do have collaborative partners in this city. We're thrilled to be working with our fellow city agencies, our community partners, our leaders in the tourism industry. And we as a police department, as I said, we can't do it alone. That said, the news that the mayor just reported is very encouraging. But in addition to that, I'd like to point out too, first 3 months of this year, our homicides are down by almost a third. Our burglaries are down. And we know, as the mayor stated, that our auto burglaries are down. And we will not rest on our laurels. We have a long way to go. Crime ebbs and flows, and those of us that have been in this business and at this for a little while, we realize that. So we know we have more work to do. Now, the mayor has outlined some steps that we've already taken. But I want to put some context to what that means in terms of the drop in auto burglaries. We're talking about 17% for the first 3 months of the year. That's over 1,000 less victims. 1,000 crimes that were, we believe, prevented. Doubling our foot patrols, we know that helps to deter crime. And these officers standing behind me are some of our finest in doing what they do. We've reallocated, as the mayor stated, we've reallocated resources toward our investigations and our property crimes. We had a news conference last week where those investigators put together a string of investigations that led to the arrest of several serial burglars in our city and in the entire region. Our station captains have tailored strategies to respond to their district's specific crime issues. But I want to go back to something that the mayor said and something that you'll hear me say over and over again. When we talk about crime and particularly auto burglaries, prevention is the key. Prevention is the key. We're asking people not to make themselves easy prey. Make no mistake, we're not blaming people for being victimized. That is not what we're trying to do here. This is about doing everything possible to keep your property safe and to avoid being an easy target for somebody who's willing to take your belongings. The Park Smart message isn't just a reminder to drivers. It's a reminder to those that want to prey on others that we still have police officers that will make arrests. We still have undercover plainclothes officers doing surveillance. We still have a district attorney that's going to charge those crimes. We still have prisons and we still have jails. That's a part of law enforcement that will never go away. But we want to turn the tide a little bit because those things are very important and we'll continue to do them. But we have to put more emphasis on prevention. We talked about the fingerprinting and the mayor mentioned this. You know, we've had a lot of good arrests and we know we need to increase our fingerprinting capabilities. So as the mayor said, we're training 36 personnel to do just that. We're encouraging people, if they do have an auto burglary, go get your car fingerprinted. We need to get those fingerprints in our databases so we can help solve some of these crimes. In addition to that, with the mayor's leadership and guidance, we hope to have more officers in the field. We encourage the public, if you see something, say something. We encourage you to call us when you see these type of crimes or any type of crime being committed. Together, we will continue to make this city safer for everyone. Again, I'd like to thank Mayor Mark Farrell for his support and his leadership on this issue. We could not do this without strong city leadership, and that's what it's going to take, leadership out of all of us to turn the tide on these crimes and make our city safer. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to introduce one of the two people that helped create the Park Smart slogan, and that's Commander David Lazar.
Well, good morning, everyone. I, too, want to echo by thanking our Mayor, Mark Farrell, for his leadership, as well as our Chief of Police, Bill Scott. Working on prevention is really important. And a little history about Park Smart. Back in 2014, I served as the captain at Central Station, paying very close attention to all the auto burglaries that were taking place. And as the chief has mentioned, you know, arresting those that are responsible is a primary duty of ours, but what's equally or sometimes more important is prevention and the message to those that come to our city, that enjoy our city, the visitors and the merchants and the residents, to simply keep their car empty. So it was back then Supervisor Mark Farrell, District 2, we worked together on putting ambassadors up on Lombard Street, and they had the goal of messaging all the visitors coming through about leaving their cars empty. And I'm sure you remember Mayor Farrell when we worked on that, and thanks to you, we got the ambassadors up on Lombard Street educating everyone. But I went to my Community Police Advisory Board at Central Station and talked with them about needing their help. And the community is very important in participating in education and crime prevention messages. And I went to Troy Campbell, who's the executive director of the Fisherman's Wharf Community Benefit District, and said, Troy, we need to come up with a slogan, and we need to come up with a message, and it has to be catchy, and we have to get the attention of all our visitors that come through. So we thought about the term Park Smart, and Troy put together a nice design. And so locally here at Fisherman's Wharf and Lombard Street and other areas throughout the Central District, we put up our signs letting all our tourists know that they need to keep their cars empty while visiting, enjoying San Francisco. And so we're excited today because our mayor and our chief have decided to roll this out citywide, and inviting the marketing person from marketing people that definitely contributed, the nice marketing firm, as you see the bus behind us. We're taking it to a whole new level in 2018. And so we're grateful. We're grateful for all our community partners. We're grateful that we're able to get the message out about crime prevention. And as you can see, as we work on the results, we work on getting the message out, you can see the results that are already starting to take place. So with that, we'd like to invite up our community partner, Executive Director Troy Campbell, who again was behind this from the very beginning, to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Good morning. So again, another round of thank yous, but thank you, Mayor Farrell, Chief Scott, Commander Lazar, for help making this message a citywide public service announcement. I would also like to throw a thank you out to the DA's office, and because we were awarded a Neighborhood Justice Fund grant last year that helped us produce more of these materials. When Park Smart message was conceived by the Central Station Community Police Advisory Board, it relied on CBDs, BIDs, merchant associations, property owners, business owners, all to put up the money to produce these materials and share them in their respective areas. However, the ultimate goal always was to get this to be a city-wide initiative and have it proliferate across the city. So for me, this is a really great day. And aside from reporting suspicious crimes and progress, this PSA is something that everyone can help do to help curb this issue. In Fisherman's Wharf alone, last year we had 16.4 million people. That's on average 45,000 people a day that we're turning over. So just handing out postcards with this message is not sustainable. So having it in static locations, on signs, on meters, on buses, I think is going to do a lot in helping getting this message out. Will it solve this problem? No. It's one cog in the machine with the DA's office, with the mayor's office, with the police department to help curb this problem. And I just want to ask everyone out there listening to me to make it part of your vernacular. When you're talking to your friends, your family, visitors that you run into at a cafe, to remind them of this message. As important as curbing your wheels on a hill or dressing in layers when you're going around the city, this is something people need to know to park smart. Thanks.
So thank you, Troy, for that, and again for all of your leadership here. And thank you, everyone, for being here. We're wrapping up right now this part of the press conference. What I want to do is direct everyone. Commander Lazar is going to lead everyone over there on a fingerprinting demo to see what we're doing. So have a live demonstration. So if you have any questions or if you want to see that, please go over there. I just want to wrap up again by thanking everyone behind me, all of the partners that made this happen, in particular the men and women of our police department who keep us safe every single day. Thank you, everyone, for being here.